First off, I want to say in America, we think that there's persecution in this land. We think that we got it bad. We cry at how Hollywood puts out evil, says bad things about us. Um, but no, that's not what it looks like throughout history. Persecution was losing your life. Persecution was not being able to feed your family. I don't have a family, obviously, but so I have no clue what that would be like. But what do we do when the wicked seem to win? That's what Psalm 10 is about. Why do you stand afar off, O Lord? Why do you hide in times of trouble? What did Ezekiel say? I alone, O Lord, am left. He didn't have any community, no church to go to. I guess he would have violated some of the new 10 commandments of Christianity. The wicked in his pride persecutes the poor. Let them be caught in the plots which they have devised. For the wicked boasts of his heart's desire. He blesses the greedy and renounces the Lord. Gosh, one name comes to... I grew up in the 90s, and the trend of Christian artists turning away from God and going after monetary gains was a thing, especially in the 90s. The wicked in his proud countenance does not seek God. God is in none of his thoughts. His ways are always prospering, so he's making the money. But your judgments are far above, out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he sneers at them. This is a wicked person we're talking about. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved. I shall never be in adversity. Look at this. I got all these people to protect me. The powerful, the earthly powerful, protect me. His mouth is first a cursing of deceit and oppression. Under his tongue is trouble and iniquity. So the wicked, he sits in the lurking places of the village. In the secret places, he murders the innocent. His eyes are secretly fixed on the helpless. We see stories of powerful people who prey on the innocent. Most of the time, we don't see those stories because we live in a society which protects the powerful. But we watch, actually, the best example of this would be Michael Myers. You have a serial sociopath who comes down and kills whoever he can and hides in the dark. That's kind of the picture that they're painting here. His eyes are secretly fixed on the helpless. He lies in wait secretly as a lion in the den. So the picture that David uses is as a lion in his den. He waits to catch the poor. He catches the poor when he draws him into his net. So he crouches and he lies low, that the helpless may fall by his strength. He has said in his heart, God has forgotten. He hides his face, he will never see. How many people today look at the world around and say, God has forgotten? Because they see the prosperity of the wicked. They see the murder of the innocent. Arise, O Lord. God, lift up your hand. Do not forget the humble. Why do the wicked renounce God? He has said in his heart, you will not require an account. But, on the other hand, you have seen, for you observe trouble and grief, and you will repay it by your hand. The helpless commits himself to you. You are the helper of the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked and evil man. Seek out his wickedness until you find none. The Lord is king forever and ever. The nations have perished out of his land. Nations has perished out of his land. So when the Israelites came into the land, they had other nations occupying it, but the Lord drove them out when their wickedness was full. So when I that little passage, verse 16, the nations have perished out of his land. I think that's the hope David sees, is when their wickedness is full, the Lord will make them perish out of the land. Lord, you have heard the desire of the humble. You will prepare their heart. You will cause your ear to hear, to do justice to the fatherless and the oppressed, that the men of earth may oppress no more. Now, this whole psalm laments the success of the righteous, or the success of the wicked. But I think that last passage, nations have perished out of his land. Yeah. That's the hope of David. That's the hope of us. When their wickedness is full, God will stand up, because he has heard, as it says here. He will cause his ear to hear. He observes the trouble and guilt and will repay it. Verse 14. He will require an account. And they will not prosper any longer. All right.